Greetings, tax tip lovers, and welcome to this week's top 5 tax fixes in just 5 minutes. Come, gather around people to ponder how to handle tax payments, cash flow, and business continuity as we head into the second wave of COVID-19. A new client, Evgeny, asked us for urgent help as the trees were obscuring his view of the forest. Here's what happened to him. Well, with the world on pause, turns out he's in survival mode. So we suggested he do what's necessary to survive now and thrive later. He told us he'd just come to terms with the fact that the common factor in all of his failed relationships was him, and that helped him to accept that there's only one person who could solve his tax and cash flow problems, and that's him, with a little help from his SAS pension. So what to do? First, the obvious. Whatever the circumstances, you need a system for sound data capture. Keeping track of taxes to make sure you're up to date with what needs paying and when is the most effective strategy, whether you can actually pay the tax due or not. Knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power. Okay, here we go. Back to 1973 with a little help from Steelers Wheel and Jerry Rafferty. Yeah, that one, Baker Street, and the guy who first encouraged Billy Connolly, the big yin, to become a stand-up comedian, as we count down the top 5 steps to tax payment sanity. Static at this week's number 5 is trying to make some sense of it all. Some taxes, such as PAYE and corporation tax, were not deferred and required a call to HMRC to put a payment plan in place, which Evgeny had forgotten to do. Down at this week's number 4 is, but I can see that makes no sense at all. He knew that VAT can be paid in smaller amounts to March 2022, and he'd remembered to opt into the scheme and reset up the direct debit that he cancelled. Just inside this week's top 3 is, because I don't think I can take any more. Evgeny had a handle on self-assessment, and he knew there's a 12-month extension. July 2020 and January 2021 don't need to be paid until January 2022. A new entry at this week's number 2 is clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. With his tax references at the ready, Evgeny made the call to HMRC and explained which taxes he was deferring. Once the call was logged and HMRC had made notes on the system, he was able to avoid the stress of the debt collection process. Staying at number 1 is the all-time classic, Here I Am, Stuck in the Middle with You. With the second wave of COVID-19 upon us, the next stage for Evgeny is to work on his future cash flow. We encouraged him to detail his cash burn so he can work out how long his cash will last if his income stops and even if it doesn't. This part of the exercise is surprisingly simple, using any one of several cash flow modeling software options, and by planning in advance, he knows that his deferred tax payments can be made as they fall due. Well, nothing is permanent in this world, not even our troubles. Evgeny isn't where he had been, he isn't where he's going, but he's on his way. Okay, that's it. And as we remember that people who say they sleep like a baby likely don't have one, it's time to take action to sort your tax planning. And here's how. You can do nothing and stay in the exact same place and pay a shed load of tax unnecessarily, or you can follow the link above for a free Power Hour review with property tax experts who are ex-PwC and ex-HMRC, and will make your property tax planning like it was our own. And that's our take on tax payment and cash flow sanity, and why we believe you need to take action, tax tippers. So volume up, time to hit the link, and here's Steelers Wheel as featured in the 1992 movie Reservoir Dogs and on the soundtrack album. All right, stay bright. Catch you again next week. Ta-ra.